Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to do a little talk about color theory. Now this is just a beginner's sort of look at it through the lens of botanicals, since that's what I'm covering for Vlogtober. Today is day 3. This is a little color wheel that I own. These can be sold at Blick, dickblick.com, and Amazon. I will link them in the description box. But I wanted to show you, since most botanicals have a theme of green, when you look at the color opposing it on the opposite side of the color wheel, that is the complementary color. So the complement to, purple is yellow, blue is orange, green is red. So when you think about marketing and design and consumerism, you look at holidays like Christmas, and that is one of the reasons green and red are paired so well together. That is strategic. That is to grab your eye and to make everything look really good. Now, for today's drawing, which I probably won't do on camera, but I wanted to have a little chat, I'm going to be drawing some blackberries. Now, we have a bunch in our yard. This is from our yard. This isn't something I I picked from somebody else's harvest. They typically ripen in August and they're good through September. They are past their prime at this point. And once the cold snap and the rains start, they'll all be gone. So it's pretty much just what's left is for the critters at this point. I've already frozen what we're going to use. Now, when I look at the color wheel, and I realize that green, but when we look at the sample I specifically chose, these ones are the ones that are considered ripe. They are very, 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 they're black, but there's a hint of like purple. You could even put indigo with these. You could do a violet. You could do a carmine lake. You can highlight this with different colors. You can even see that there's still a little bit of red. Now, the options with illustration with this are, as it pertains to color theory, is I don't have to draw the very ripe ones. I can draw ones that aren't ripe yet. And why would I do that? Well, they wouldn't exactly look like blackberries. They'd look a little bit more raspberry, but we know from the shape and the design and everything that that's the leaves and all the stuff that this is blackberry. But I could do red with the leaves and it looks more contrasting and complementary to have the green with the red in my illustration. Now that is a artist's choice, that is a style choice, that is something that I can put on the page. My blackberry doesn't have to be ripe. In fact, I could just draw the green ones that aren't ripe at all. And all these different greens, they're analogous to each other, which means they're right next to each other on the color wheel. So we would have dark green, which would be adding black to a green is a shade. Adding white to a green is a tint. And this would be the hue, the original color. So all these are next to each other on the color wheel. So these are all analogous. So if I wanted to do colors that I know look good together, I would just do all the different tints and shades of green. That is a artist style choice on the page. Now, again, it wouldn't look like the quintessential blackberry illustration, but maybe you don't want that anyways. Maybe you want it to be your own thing. Now, these are kind of losing a lot here. Again, you can position this any way you want to. You could just have loose berries. You could just have loose leaves. You can include things with roots. You could include the whole bundle so you get the full range of color. I'm going to throw up an illustration that shows the life cycle of a berry. I really like that. I believe it's a photograph of the life cycle of a berry. That is also an option and a choice. for style, for, you know, documentation purposes, for doing a botanical illustration. It's great for education when teaching life cycles. You really see the full understanding of all the different colors that blackberries turn, and you don't have to pick the standard ones. You don't have to. You can pick the ones that complement the green the most, these red, or you can keep your whole illustration in shades of green and do the very, very unripe ones, or you could do just the blossoms where the berry hasn't even started to form if you're doing like a flower theme. These are all things to think about. So when you look at color, what do you want to convey in your illustration? Do you want the green to stand out as much as possible? You would draw the red ones. Do you want everything to sort of flow together and harmonize together? You would do all the green. Now, if you're going for something educational and you want it to be fully recognizable, you would do this very, very dark black color. Now, black is the absence of color, so I would add very, very dark colors to this. You could even undertone it with a dark green and layer a black on top of it. Sort of get it to blend together a little. That's a thought. You could, if you're underpainting, you could underpaint with red and then layer the black on top and let a little bit of the red peek through for complement. There's tons of ways to do berries. When you think about color theory and what you want it to look like and what you want your illustration to say and how you want it to pop on your page, it's not just composition, like what angle you have it as or what you choose to include. Think about the colors as well. Now, if you're just doing like pen and ink and you're working with black ink pen, then this is moot. But understanding color and understanding how you can enrich your illustrations through color is a valuable skill, even if during this challenge you're just using black ink. If you chose to do like Inktober and it's all black and white, still keep in mind that you can do interesting things with illustrations with your eye using color. Color is very, very important, and odds are good most artists incorporate a color once in a while, even if you're monochromatic, and that just means you're using one color for the whole thing. And maybe every single illustration you're doing is just green. It's one hue of green, one shade of green. Then everything obviously is going to blend and flow together, and you'll understand, and the message is through the different shapes. The shapes become important when everything is one color. So if that is something you want to work on and something you want to learn is shape, then by all means stick with one color. If you want to delve into some harder, more complex, different elements of art and design, understanding the use of color, the hierarchy of color, harmony of color, the complements of color within your illustration that really make it work. This is just losing all its seeds. And you can really, really enhance and up the level of your illustrations. So if you're stuck in a rut and you feel like your art isn't improving or getting any better, I want you to try to add more color. I want you to think about the color wheel. There are tons of color wheels online. Go to Google, type in color wheel, click on images, and tons of different styles of color wheel. I will link some articles about color theory if you want to do some reading. I have a couple old videos showing a color theory painting binder I did back in college. I'll link those videos in the description box. But for this illustration, what would be the most important thing? Having it pop, having it accurate, or having it all blend? These are questions to ask yourself and think about when you go to do your next drawing. In Vlogtober of 2023, I did birds, and I talked about the joys of drawing black birds and how you can add really unique colors to black for the highlight. I will link that video as well because you can get away with some pretty interesting things when you're drawing something that's all black. I hope this video helps. I hope it gives you something to think about, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Don't be sassy. Shh. No noise. Thank you. Nope. Shh. 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 Please, baby. Birdie. Birdie, Birdie.